Hi,
To see you.
you too.
Okay, great. Okay, 2 more minutes and then we'll start. I love and appreciate how everybody is actually being here, even not on time, but earlier. So that's really awesome. And for now, I don't know why the chat function is not enabled. We'll try to do it. If for some reason it doesn't work, we'll just hold the questions and do Q&A at the end, which will be the case regardless. So just 1 more minute and then we'll start. Okay, everyone. So we are going to get going. It's exactly 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Welcome. My name is Valerie Heighton. I'm the Chief External Officer of Hebrew Public. Sorry, today's Zoom is a little bit, okay, now it's working. Okay, sorry. I don't know why we're having some technical problems today. The chat function is not enabled. We'll try to fix it. If not, we'll just keep our questions, but now I can at least move the buttons. Okay, I want to do a quick introduction for us. So I'm Valerie. I've been with the organization for almost 10 years. For 6 out of these 10 years, the Israel trip has been a big dream of ours, of our chair, Sarah Bloom, who's the founder of the organization, and mine. And then 2017, when we had the very first trip, very first 8th grade, we took the kids to Israel. It was an unforgettable experience and something that we are committed to continuing for as long as this organization is in existence and our schools are in existence, which we hope is forever. The other person you'll meet on the ground is Anat Einstein, who's the director of our Israel office, and she's in charge of all of the logistics and will welcome our kids. I will let Sasha, who is here, introduce herself. She's the trip leader. So Sash.
Hi, everyone. Pardon my nasaliness. I'm under the weather this evening, but I'm so glad to see so many participants. Wow, we're up to 30. I have been with the organization now for 6 years, and this is my first year on the trip. I've been working with the students, families, and everyone in between. We also manage the alumni program, which is where your students are headed. So we're very excited that you're all here, excited to talk to you about the trip, answer your questions, and get ready for a journey of a lifetime. So thank you for joining.
Okay. Thanks, Sash. So 2 other members who will definitely be on the trip. Gino Ariely, who is part of our team, who is Israeli and in fact is in Israel right now. He will be joining as a chaperone. And Kim Rivera, who has been with our school for almost as long as HLA, the founding school, exists. She's definitely joining as a chaperone, as well as there will be several other chaperones from other schools to be confirmed. So there is a lot to be excited for, and the kids will have the experience of their lifetime. They are going to hike, they will meet their Israeli peers, they are going to learn about agriculture. It's an opportunity to step out of their comfort zones and experience the countries that they have been learning about for so many years. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about the trip. This is the agenda. I will try to go over as many details as possible. And after I'm done, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. Usually we use a chat function to put in some questions, but since it's not working, and I apologize for that, just keep your question, please, towards the end and then ask, unless it can't wait and you want to ask while I'm presenting. In that case, if you can just do the raise hand icon, and Sash, in case I don't see, just point out to me, please, that there is a question and we can address while I'm on a particular slide that's of interest to you. So when is a trip? Actually, 2 weeks ago, I was not sure because we were still, I knew it's a week of, it's a President's Day week, but I didn't know exactly when we are going to leave and when we're going to arrive. And as of today, I'm pleased to let you know that we are holding a block of tickets for our group, and those are the dates, okay? February 20th, we're going to leave out of New York, okay? So for those on the East Coast, we're going to leave out of New York. And for those who are in LA and San Diego, we're going to be departing from Los Angeles. And Minneapolis would have to get probably to New York and join us from New York to Tel Aviv. So the trip is going to be 1 week, and it's pretty much the President's Week. The reason why we were not exactly sure which dates it would be until 2 days ago is because the prices, surprise, surprise, have gone up, and we were trying to find as affordable of tickets as possible, but even this affordable is 30% more than what we paid for any prior trips that we have. Okay. So why is this trip offered, right? This trip is offered because your kids have been part of a Hebrew charter school, which is a part of the larger Hebrew public network of schools. And the schools have the same mission, right? To provide great academic excellence, to offer modern Hebrew. Our students all learn how to speak Hebrew. They all learn about Israel. They all learn to be global citizens, right? And the trip to Israel, it's a capstone experience to solidify those years that the kids have been working so hard to get to this point. So we want to honor their hard work. We want to put their Hebrew to the test, right? We want them to use Hebrew on the trip. And we want them, as I said before, step out of their comfort zone. And I may be repeating that word again and again because that's big for us, right? Some kids have never traveled internationally. Some kids never left New York City or San Diego, wherever they live, and be out there with their peers, without their parents, and do something very different. So here are just some of the goals of the trip. I'm not going to read them. You can read them for yourself, but it's an opportunity to experience everything that Israel offers. And for those of you who know a little bit about Israel, who have been there, who maybe have been born there, know how special this little country is and how much there is to learn there. And the whole goal of the trip is to educate our kids and inspire them with everything that Israel gets to offer so that they will come back dreaming big and succeeding in life. So in the tagline, kind of stepping outside the comfort zones, okay? Like even something like trying new foods, okay? Most kids don't know what hachapuri is. It's a famous Georgian pizza, let's put it this way, which is commonly served in many restaurants in Israel, and our kids usually try it for the first time, and it's like, wow, some love it, some hate it. Of course, falafel, shawarma, kanafe, which is a famous Arab treat, so kids get to experience the foods that they may never have tried before. They're facing fears, right? Like we're doing a lot of hiking. Rest assured, it's not anything crazy. Anybody of any physical activity level can do it. But for many of the kids, it's something which they don't normally do at this rate at home. So they'll get, for example, to hike Masada, right? And going up and down. For some kids, it's very scary. And each kid that we had so far was able to overcome this fear, be supported by their peers, and really feel great about conquering that big mountain. And of course, making new friends. And what's so unique about this trip is that kids from Agamim, for example, will meet with kids from HLA and become friends for life. Just a personal experience. So my daughter graduated from HLA, and as Sasha said, we also run an alumni program, and as part of the alumni program, we have a leadership experience in Israel, which is for kids to go back to Israel who have been on Capstone already. We're bringing them back for an immersive experience. So my daughter met Brenda, who is a graduate from Agamim, And even though Brenda is Minneapolis and my daughter Dana in New York, they're talking every single day, and I think they will be friends for life. And that's something that I hope your kids will experience as well. It's very, very special. Okay, so who is eligible? Okay, so from the Hebrew public perspective, right, like, which is the national organization organizing this trip, anybody, all current 8th graders who are enrolled at HLA, Harlem, Hatikva, Lashon Kavod, or Agamim, and are in good academic standing are eligible to apply. I'll speak in a moment about the process of how we're going to select students, but if you're a current 8th grader, your child is a current 8th grader, you're eligible to apply. Your school may add some of the criteria to what we'll describe in our application form, but that's the basics. Okay, where will we go? I've been asked, we did a couple of prior presentations for individual schools, like, can you share the itinerary? No, I cannot share the exact itinerary with you yet because we're still determining where the kids will stay and how we will actually do the route. But those are the highlights, right? We'll go to Jerusalem, we'll go to Tel Aviv, we'll go to Ben Shemen. So although maybe this name does not tell you much, it's an amazing youth village in the center of the country that we partner with in a number of our programs. And that's where our students will meet their Israeli peers and have joint activities with them as well. We will, of course, go to the Dead Sea and Masada. And the Dead Sea, if, you know, when we interview the kids, usually the number one destination in Israel that they want to go to is Masada.
Valerie, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm letting everyone know that the chat function is now live.
Yay, thank you,
So,
Sasha.
Ask
Wonderful.
away.
Wonderful. Okay, so if anybody has a question and can hold it and want to ask it right away, you can chat it, put it in the chat, and then we'll address it. Okay, so what will we learn? We'll learn about the diversity of Israel. Each one of your schools is diverse, and you have students of all backgrounds, and Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. And we are looking at all of the different people who are part of the rich Israeli society, and we're learning their stories, their histories. We're learning about shared society, and we're meeting them along the way. Israel is a startup nation, right? As we said, we want to inspire your children so that they dream big and accomplish big things in life. And we're going to be visiting places and hearing from speakers who talk about Israel's innovation in agriculture, in medical technology, in apps, right? You know, ways which almost everybody has on their phones has been invented in Israel. So that's a really, really cool part of the trip that kids really enjoy. And of course, history, like where else can we walk the streets that Jesus Christ was walking? And that's something very, very special. Most likely on Shabbat, on Saturday, we're going to be in Jerusalem. It's a day of rest, and we plan to explore the old city by feet, which is a very special experience for kids from all backgrounds and all religions, and once in a lifetime opportunity. And then putting Hebrew at work, right? Especially for the students who have been in the school since kindergarten or first grade, they should have 9 years of Hebrew under their belt. And we know that with COVID and with everything else, their Hebrew is probably not at the level where it could be if it wouldn't be for COVID and they've been with us since kindergarten. Nevertheless, I can bet that they know more than they may even think they know, and we'll find ways for them to use Hebrew in a real life experience. So here, you know, we've been doing a challenge with Israeli soldiers. We are giving even something small as giving kids pitzur, like their lunch money, and allowing them to go and order the food themselves in a like real Israeli bodega, Jerusalem bodega. Like that's a big deal. And we got so many comments. Well, it's people being so surprised that when they hear our kids speaking Hebrew, it always makes us proud. Okay, so here are the things. Okay, So again, like I want to stress the clarifications of who is coming on the trip. So good academic standing. Your kid cannot have failing grades. They will not be allowed on the trip if they have failing grades. And good conduct. Even if the kid is, if your student is behaving right now, but something happens a week before the trip and they get suspended, they will not be allowed on the trip and we're not going to give the money back. We're very strict about behavior. It's an overseas trip, which we're working hard on to make sure that it runs smoothly for everybody. So those who are coming should be, should have good conduct and should truly show motivation about going on this trip. Okay, sometimes we know that us parents, right, we really want the experience for our kid and our kid doesn't want it. Now, our kids are different, right? Like I know if it happens with my child, like she usually will, you know, come around and love whatever I offer to her, and some kids will not, right? We don't want to have kids there who are there just because, okay? They are going to be interviewed and we will assess whether they are truly motivated themselves to go on the trip. And if we don't see that motivation, they will not go. And we're going to be strict about that because we do have very limited seats and we do want to give them for the kids who are worthy of going on that trip, okay? And then they should be ready to participate in all aspects of the trip. There is no such thing as, oh, you know, I didn't sleep enough. I want to stay in the room for an extra hour. Oh, I don't want to go on that hike because I don't know what, right? Of course, if God forbid somebody is not feeling well and we can see that medically they are not on par on what the activity needs them to do, they're not going to be pushed. But if it's just because they don't feel like participating, that's not going to be accepted on the trip. Okay. Okay, so space is limited. And when I'm saying that the space is limited, I'm not just saying that. Like one thing to know about organizing the trips, it's about seats on the bus, right? So if there are only 48 seats on the bus for the students, minus all the adults and chaperones, and there will be, you know, probably 12 there, that's all we have, 48 seats that will go to students from 6 schools. So we can't like make an excuse and take another kid somewhere. They can't be in the luggage essentially, right? So we do ask that those who are interested apply, that they get back to Sasha immediately once she gets back to them about setting up an interview, and that they show their best when they're being interviewed, because all of those criteria will be taken very seriously and we will not be accepting all of the kids who have applied for the trip. Safety, that's always a big thing. I'm glad that COVID is not fully behind us, but really behind in a way that, like, as we did last year, we went, you know, we had to get tested and everything. This year we don't. Now we have a medic on the trip, and that medic can give medicine. They can, they will have EpiPen and everything else, you know, like, so I know that the parents are really worried, and we had parents who said, well, I will travel with my child because my child needs X, Y, and Z medicine. We want to reassure you that we're going to be prepared for your child's medical needs. Where do we sleep? Lilach, do you remember that picture? We didn't change it from last year, so here you go. So we're going to sleep in clean and safe hostels and 3-star hotels. Actually, I've heard that maybe one of the hotels, even a 4-star, it's going to be clean, right? It's not going to be a 5-star hotel, okay? But it's going to be clean and nice, and it will be in a good and convenient neighborhood. Of course, boys and girls are going to be sleeping separately, and the chaperones will be on duty. And I'm sure Lilach has some fun stories to share with us if she'd like to at some point about that. Okay, so the most interesting part, which I'm prepping you, don't want to scare you, I'll lay it out and then we'll talk about everything else. So this is what's included in the trip. Okay, that's kind of like an all-inclusive. You get, you know, the flights, the hotels, the chaperones, the tour guide, and everything else. And this is the full cost of the trip, okay? This is a much higher cost than what it was last year. I don't think there is one person on this trip that I have to explain why it's so much more significantly more expensive than last year. Just one example. Cost from a ticket round trip from Newark to Tel Aviv, and I'm not talking about like plus domestic flight from Minneapolis, let's say, is going to be $1,400. Okay. So, and until this year, max that we paid was close to 1,000. All of the hotel costs went 30% up, the gas, everything. Okay. Having said that, let me see. Financial assistance is available. Okay. We will do the best that we can possibly do not to turn away who really want to participate, but can't because they don't have enough money. Now, if they don't have enough money and also don't have the motivation and don't have good grades, they will not go, right? But if they don't have the money, but have the spark in their eye and really want to be a part of this trip, we will find the ways for them to be part of this trip. Okay, that's what we're committed for, and that's what we have the philanthropic money for. Okay, so let me recap this process. The application forms are due November 15th. Sasha will begin reaching out to those who already applied pretty soon, and she's going to do the interviews. We are going fast through this process, primarily because of the airplane tickets. We have certain deadlines that we need to meet, right? Everybody will get their acceptance decisions in early December. We'll share all of this information yet again, like as well as a recorded presentation. You have this plus Q&A that Sasha put together, so you can always come back and review those documents or email us. And yeah, so this is everything. And now I think it's the next slide. We will have a payment schedule, right? So if whatever amount after the scholarship you will be told that you have to pay, right? This will be the payment schedule. Now, if for some reason that payment schedule is not enough for you, we will work with you. If you tell us like, we want to pay X amount, but this is too short for us and would like to expand, 2-3 more months, we are going to work with you to make that happen as well. Okay. Also, this is very important. We will try to accommodate every child. We're taking all the medical considerations into account. So if God forbid, like if a child, is in a wheelchair or has something that would prevent them from being a part of certain activities, we'll make accommodations to make sure that they're included in all activities that they want to participate. Okay, now it's your time. It's 7:20. I went through every slide and I want to open it up. Feel free to unmute yourself. I will stop sharing. And let's just talk. Ask whatever questions you have, anything that you'd like to know.
Hi, it's Michelle Leitner.
Yeah, hi, Michelle. And I'm sorry,
Hi.
before you say, I'm just saying that Kim Rivera is here and she's our chaperone from HLA. So I want you all to meet Kim. You want to say just 1 or 2 words about yourself? Michelle, I'm coming right back to you, but since I just saw Kim.
Hi, good evening, everybody. As Valerie said, I've been at the school for HLA for a very long time. I actually made 10 years in August. This is going to be my first time going to Israel. I was very excited to be asked to go. I was actually almost in tears, but I'm very excited to spend it with your children and to experience this for the first time with them.
Thank you, Kim. Michelle, I'm so sorry for interrupting. I couldn't see everybody when I was sharing the screen, and I was very excited to see that Kim is with us.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure to meet you, Kim. What a wonderful opportunity. So yeah, a couple questions. One, is it possible to get a copy of the presentation so we can make note more of the dates and things like that? So if we can, great, perfect. Second, I noticed it says the presentations, the capstone presentations, is that the interview we're talking about, or is there a separate thing?
Yeah, let me talk about it. I'm sorry if there was presentations. We're actually not doing the actual presentation. So if you have not seen the application yet, there are 2 parts there. One is for your student and one is for you. The students are having 3 questions that they have to respond to, okay? it's a minimum of 250 words. So while they don't have to do a fancy PowerPoint presentation, they have to come prepared to discuss their responses with Sasha and whoever else is interviewing them. And we want them to present and to prepare as if they're going to an interview. And that's part of this Capstone experience as well. We are treating these interviews very seriously, and we want to see that they're prepared and ready to go and are, you know, not kidding around.
Great. And then I just have one more question. You just mentioned about the chaperones, it would be teacher chaperones. Are there parent chaperones also for this trip?
No, parents are not allowed on this trip. Okay, Nicole, I think you have a question.
That was one of my questions. I was going to ask about whether parents were allowed on the trip. I also did want to know the number of chaperones, because I saw that I saw 2 chaperones. One is the guard and one is the medic. And other than that, I was like, that's not enough chaperones.
No, it's not. So I don't know if you joined at the beginning, but I actually
No, I
had
didn't.
Okay, so I had pictures of, I believe, 6 of us who will be on the trip. It will be, yeah. So there will be 6 of us from the United States part, and there will be at least 3 more from Israel. So in all times, there will be between 8 to 10 adults on that trip, roughly a group of 10 kids per 1 chaperone.
Okay. And how many, because I did miss the very beginning, how many kids did you say there were going to be accepted from each school?
48 kids.
Okay.
That's how many will fit on 1 bus.
Okay. And that's roughly how many from each school, or is there a certain criteria, like based?
It depends on the school. Okay, between 5 and 12 children from the school.
Per school. Okay. So it's not a set number. Then the last question is, for this presentation that the kids have to give, when is that due by? Like,
If I may, so we apologize for any confusion. The word presentation is from a slide from last year's capstone presentation. We've changed a few things for this year. We will not have students prepare presentations, but we will reach out. I will be reaching out to schedule interviews so we can have a conversation with you and your student about some of the questions that they had answers in the application. If you had not already, I'm sure I emailed every person.
I've not seen it.
No? Okay.
Tomorrow, I have no idea.
I'll set in the chat. I will email everyone the recording of this video, an FAQ about this trip, the financial aid form, and the trip application. The trip application and financial aid form are both due by November 15th to be considered to go on this trip. I will begin scheduling interviews on Monday to happen between November 15th and November 30th. First week of December, we will let families know of next steps.
Okay, perfect. Because I haven't had application and nothing. So I'm walking into this blind, and I have a daughter who's very academic. Like, if you tell her she has to give a presentation, she's like, what do I have to do? I need to get started immediately. So I was like,
Nicole, I'm going to message you offline.
Okay. I'm sorry, what?
Nicole, which school are you with?
We're at Kavod.
Okay, so you can also speak to Ronit Ron Yerushalmi.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I actually thought this was going to be given by Ronit, so I was like, wait.
We actually had a separate session for Kavod as well, and Ronit was there. She could not be here today. It's sort of like it's an additional session for those who couldn't be at the other one. Ronit has also shared the information and has everything on her fingertips. Now, also, your schools may decide to add other criteria to what we're discussing. So, I don't know if Ravit is here from LA. I don't see you, but you know, if you are from LA or from Kavod, like you can also come to your Hebrew director and talk with them about the trip. They are in the loop of everything that we're doing.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. I couldn't make it last week because I was working. So
great. Okay, Michelle.
I just wanted to could you share your thoughts on not having parent chaperones? Just what the rationale is.
The rationale is that it's time for kids to have an experience on their own without the parents, right? And we want them to bond with their peers. We want them to have this inter-school experience in the country to set them off on the path to high school. And we don't think that having parents there adds to this experience. In fact, like we had an instance on one of the trips when someone's older brother was in Israel and essentially followed the bus wherever it went. And it wasn't cool, not for the kid who was there and not for the rest of the group. Other questions? Oh, I see there are two hands up. Bess, Lee, Bess, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
So I had a couple of questions. One of them was, is there, you said that there's going to be 6 chaperones from the schools here in America. Does that mean there's going to be 1 representative from each of the schools?
Mostly, okay, 1 or 2 schools may not have a representative, but mostly yes.
Do you yet know if Kavod is going to have a
Kavod
representative?
will have a representative, yeah.
Okay. And then my second question is about the financial aid. Is there minimum or maximum amounts that a family makes? Like, do you have criteria, or is it going to be based just on the applications that you receive and who's the most needy?
It's based on the financial information that the families provide, okay? So depending on the family income, we have, you know, brackets of what scholarships we would recommend for people depending on their income levels, and that is what we're going to follow.
Okay. And then my last question is that I know that Jewish schools are able to apply for funding grants through the Federation.
I don't hear the sound. Beth? No. I stopped hearing you, but I've heard the first part of the question. So let me repeat what I think you want to ask, and then just tell me yes or no. I think you want to ask if our students are eligible to apply for funding from the federations. So I come from the Jewish communal world, right? And I'm very sad that they cannot, right? And because we're not Jewish schools, they do not treat our students the same way. And also we want to be fair and equal to all of our students. And there is absolutely no way that we're going to single out only the Jewish kids who can apply. And if somebody is not Jewish, they can't apply. It's not going to fly in our schools. Okay, sorry we lost sound, but I think I got it. Okay, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Francia Peña. Hi.
Hi, hello again. You say just right. Actually, you just answered my question. It was about the financial aid guidelines and how you guys were going to use it. And once again, to all those parents who are connected right now, just to let you know, guys, that was an awesome experience. My first son went on that trip last year. Nicholas is in high school now, obviously. And I'm happy to know that my second child, Benjamin, is going to get a chance now to go, because I know that he will for sure go. So just to let you guys know that the kids will be in good hands. The experience that Nicholas had is something that he's still talking about it now. So it's definitely something that I'm looking forward, and I'm pretty sure your kids will also do the same.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, other questions? Lilach, I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe you want to say something from your experience. Lilach
Okay.
was a chaperone twice on the trip.
I was chaperoning 2 trips, and this year I hope to send my daughter, our daughter, and I can tell you to all the parents that worried, it's safe, the kids is very safe, the chaperones is taking care of them day and night, and it's an amazing trip.
Thank you, Lilach. Okay, great. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I look forward to communicating with you once we know who the children are from all of the schools. We'll be sure to do a Zoom among all of the kids so that they are starting to meet each other on Zoom, even if it's a little bit awkward or anything else, but we want to start to push them a little bit to get to know each other. We are going to be communicating with you in a timely manner, and maybe one other thing that we didn't address is throughout the trip, rest assured you will see lots of pictures. We'll form a WhatsApp group because that's the way Israelis are communicating, and we'll be sending you pictures, we'll be sending you updates. You'll be able to speak to your kids on the cell phone every day, although we will not be allowing them the cell phones during the trips, because during the tours and everything else that we're doing, because we want them to be focused, but you'll have a chance to speak to your child, and all of us will be connected. And we look forward to sharing this experience with your children. Thank you so much. Right, so Sasha and I will hang out for another couple of minutes in case somebody remembers a question, and then you can always reach us.
I'm just going to remind anyone who joined us a little bit later, tomorrow, I will be sending many things to all of you. If you don't receive it, please email us at Capstone, and I put it in the chat, capstone@hebrewpublic.org. What I am going to send you is a recording of this conversation that we all had, an FAQ that we put together, the financial aid form, excuse me, and the trip application. I have been emailing many of you already. We're missing this, we need this. And starting on Monday, I will be reaching out to you and your child to schedule interviews. Again, if you have any questions about anything from now until the trip, reach out to us at capstone@hebrewpublic.org, okay?
Thanks, Sasha. Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys. It's great to see you. Hope to see you
Great to
soon.
see you.
Bye, Kim.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Lila.
Hi. I don't think the Agamim family has, you have their email, so don't forget to send it to me and I will send all the thing again.
No,
to
no,
them
we don't.
later.
Yeah, okay, Sasha, I thought we, okay, yeah, we will, absolutely.
Yeah, I will give them the Capstone email as
Mhm.
well if they have questions, but if you send it to me, I will send
Okay,
it. to you.
Sasha will send everything. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you, Donna.
Hi, Lilach.
I was just
Jean,
gonna-
mom put, sorry, Nicole. Jean, I know you messaged me, a question I might as well just answer like this. We will send you everything via email about today, okay? So you'll get everything in your email by end of day tomorrow. Sorry, Nicole.
I just want to make sure I get it to you. So it's capstone@hebrewpublic.org, and C does not need to be capitalized, or does it?
That's correct. It does not. We're
Okay.
not case sensitive.
And if there's a problem at all, is there a phone number? I mean, I will speak to Ronit if anything comes up, but is there a phone number I should have?
Well, we're very responsive to the Capstone email,
Okay.
so why don't you
right.
start there and then
I will.
read, and if for whatever
If
reason,
anything-
you will get a response from the Capstone.
All right.
Okay, that's the best way to reach us.
All I know, because my daughter is like, she's dreaming of this trip, so I have to make it happen.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to having her.
Yeah, she's already like, yeah. I will be in the doghouse if it doesn't happen, so I have to make sure I make it work.
Sounds
Nicole,
good.
just
I'm leaving.
make sure you email Capstone with your information so I can ensure that you receive everything by end
Yeah,
of
I'm
day.
gonna do it right now. I'm actually gonna hang up because I have to go back to work and then do it right now. So thank you both for
Okay,
everything.
awesome. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a good one.
I'm trying.
Okay, Sash, I think we'll drop off and I will talk with you tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you, everyone. Laila Tov. Have a good one.